Hello and welcome to the Life Optimizer podcast, where science meets everyday life. My name is Viktoriya, a Yale-trained midwife, passionate about holistic health and wellness. With this podcast, my mission is simple: to share proven strategies to help you optimize your life, to help you feel stronger, healthier, and more fulfilled. I believe that tiny changes lead to a whole new you. I know what it's like to have to fight back, to feel better, to get back to your health, back to your energy, back to your mental clarity. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I went to undergrad here in California, got my bachelor's degree in biological sciences with an emphasis on neurobiology, physiology, and behavior. So I was interested in that from early on. I also wanted to be in the medical field, and so I went to Yale University after that and became a midwife. I've been a practicing midwife in a high risk, high volume setting for the last 12 years, helping women, taking care of women all through their pregnancies, labor, birth, and after. Once I went through my own health struggles, I found out how much more I needed to learn. So I dug deep and really started to figure out what to do when my health took a turn for the worse. I don't really know how to talk about this, and it's a very sensitive subject, so I'm going to kind of warn you ahead of time that, my story is maybe not an easy one, and I'm not saying yours is easy, and probably that's what brings you here. I have given birth to 4 children, and my last baby was born 3 years ago. And while we were on vacation away, I noticed that that baby in the 3rd trimester wasn't moving. Just woke up in the morning and noticed that he wasn't moving. I found a nearby hospital and went to be checked out. I begged them to do an ultrasound. And the worst thing, my biggest fear, um, was true. His heart stopped beating. And so that took me on a journey of grief and loss and pain like I've never experienced before. And that journey really allowed me um, just to see the world differently, and really forced me to take a good look at my health and at everything that I'm going to be sharing here. Um, to cope, I did all the things, but really that loss and laying him to rest, this perfect baby that looked absolutely perfect, a pregnancy without complications, um, that came really out of nowhere, really shook everything that I knew, shook everything that I was certain in. Being an OBGYN provider, a provider in obstetrics and gynecology, you would think that we would be able to prevent things like this, but really we know that that's not in our hands. And so, I try to cope doing different things. I believe in God and I talk to God through the process. I also try to exercise my grief and pain away, try to get that energy out somehow. I try to go back to work. The first time that I went back to work, a place where, I had essentially everything reminded me of my biggest loss. As soon as I walked through the doors, I was crying. I had a full panic attack. I had to go back on disability and I couldn't function at work for a period of time, and slowly had to ease back in to providing care again. And so really at that point, I felt like I was running 1,000 miles an hour, that I never was able to be in a state of rest. Even while sleeping, my head hit the pillow and I passed out from sheer exhaustion. I got to a place where, my nervous system was on edge at all times. It never was in a rest or digest state. I was drinking more coffee. I was sleeping less and less. I was way more tired. And so, lots of things were happening inside me that I didn't know about. My hair was falling out. I was foggy all the time. My brain was foggy all the time. And so I got to a place where, I was told, well, you just need to take these pills and you'll feel better. And I knew for myself that that wasn't the answer, just for me, right? For me and my health and kind of like what I was thinking about and how I was feeling. And so I started to really search for other answers of how I could help and feel better and heal in a more holistic way. I started seeing a practitioner who got me on the journey of, learning about holistic health more and more. And once I was done seeing her through various things, um, we talked about diet and nutrition and supporting my body. We talked about supporting my thyroid, supporting sleep, relaxation, helping my body know how to be in a state of peace and rest again, which I hadn't felt in many years at that point. And so it was that journey that led me here to wanting to share with you that it is possible to heal. It is possible to feel better, to get better. It is possible to heal your heart. It is possible to have better relationships, to really learn to come back to yourself again. And let me tell you, I didn't start big. I started with the tiniest step. I started with literally drinking electrolytes in the morning just to help my body feel nourished. That's it. That's it. And one thing after another, little tiny changes over time have led me to feeling better, to fixing my thyroid. Over time, I found out that I had developed an autoimmune thyroid disease. I was anemic, lots of different things that were normal lab work wise in the beginning before my loss had now shifted to where even my labs were showing abnormalities. So it wasn't just that I wasn't feeling good. It was now that like actual labs were even showing it. But the hard part is that when I wasn't feeling well, I know that my body was already under stress. It was already depleted, both emotionally and physically. My, doctor said, when your labs are worse, come and see us. And that was really, really hard because I knew that I was feeling awful. And to be feeling awful and to be told, when your labs are worse, come back and see us, was really painful because I didn't want to feel that way. It's really easy, or it might be really easy, to dismiss making small changes because small changes can seem so trivial. Like, why would I even care? Why would this small change make a difference? And let me tell you that small changes lead to compound results where the small changes lead to more changes and kind of catch a momentum. There was a calculation done that if you took a plane that was traveling from San Francisco to New York City, and you change that plane's trajectory by 1 degree, that plane over that distance would end up in Florida. And so that 1 degree change does make a difference. I want to encourage you that even that small step, even a little tiny change, will really make an impact. It's really hard to change. Your body kind of resists change. There's this concept of homeostasis that's in our body. Our body likes to be the same and stay the same and not have big shifts, whether that's in weight, whether that's in temperature. And big changes tend to kind of make our body freak out and say, hey, go back to normal, go back to eating the way you did. And so while big changes can be lasting, it's much harder for a big, huge change to last long term. Small changes are a little bit easier for your body to deal with and a little bit easier for your body to adjust. So I just want to encourage you to dig in, to continue to pursue health, even one little step at a time. This podcast is meant to give you tools to help you achieve what you would like to achieve with less effort, to bring you scientific knowledge, really current data, protocols, and help to get you where you want to go. And so here on the Life Optimizer podcast, I would like to have a challenge at the end of each episode called the Life Optimizer Challenge. And the challenge this week is to subscribe to this podcast, join me, comment on what you'd like to hear about, and share, spread the word. Thank you for joining the Life Optimizer podcast, where science meets everyday life.